Alright, y'all. So, Black Lives Matter movement. No, nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. Now, last time I checked, destroying cities and burning down buildings is not anything to do with that, but let's read into it a little bit, alright? A Norwegian lawmaker has nominated the Black Lives Matter movement for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize for bringing attention to racial inequalities around the world, while dismissing the riots and violence done in the name of the movement. In his nomination papers, Norwegian MB Peter Eddy said the movement forced nations to reckon with racism and other injustices. I found that one of the key challenges we have been seen in America, but also in Europe and Asia, is kind of increasing conflict based on inequality, he wrote. Black Lives Matter has become a very important worldwide movement to fight racial injustice. They have had a tremendous achievement in raising global awareness and conscience about racial injustice. They have had a tremendous achievement in raising global awareness and conscience about racial injustice. Let's see. While Black Lives Matter has marched and advocated for racial inequality and social justice causes, it has been particularly outspoken about police brutality following deadly encounters with black youth and men in recent years. The movement came about in 2013 after the shooting of Trayvon Martin, who was shot by a neighborhood watch volunteer who was later acquitted. Again, everybody keeps blaming Trayvon Martin. Nobody there was shot by a cop. So why are they bringing up Trayvon Martin? Let's see. The movement gained further recognition after the police killing of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014. You know, that caused weeks of riots there also. Coupled with praise from racial awareness has been criticism for having encouraged rioting and vandalism during protests and other demonstrations. Critics accused its supporters of acting more like a violent gang than a civil rights movement. Many took to the streets over the summer to voice their dismay over the police-involved death of George Floyd and others. Some of those gathering devolved into rioting, breaking into stores, engaging in violence against authorities and those who disagree with them. Alright. This guy says studies have shown that most of the demonstrations organized by Black Lives Matter have been peaceful. Of course, there have been incidents, but most of them have been caused by the activities of either the police or counter-protesters. Now, Peace Prizes nominations are submitted by any politician serving at a national level. Among other criteria, deadlines February 1st. The winner is announced in October. Alright, so with that being said, let's just go over this, alright? Number one, you say studies have shown that most demonstrations organized by Black Lives Matter have been peaceful, alright? Well, that number one right there is not true at all, alright? Of course, there have been incidents, most of them have been caused by the activities of the police, so let me get this straight. You want people to believe that these so-called movements are peaceful and that anytime it becomes violent is because of the police. That makes sense, yeah. So, there's thousands of people out there, right? And you got the police, you really think they're going to go out there and be like, hey, let's start something because we're outnumbered here, because that makes sense. Alright? And counter-protesters. Any kind of situation, there's counter-protesters. Y'all love to bring it up when Black Lives Matter is out there. Oh, there was counter-protesters, there was white supremacy, there was Trump supporters, there was Antifa, all kind of stuff. What happened when the Capitol got stormed? Oh no, there were no counter-protesters. It was proven that there was Black Lives Matter and Antifa out there, but no, there's no counter-protesters. It's all Trump supporters, white supremacy, all Trump supporters are bad. So, that proves right there that y'all are, you're rejecting your whole statement, anyways. As far as some of these recent killings they were talking about, let's talk about some of the big ones, alright? Breonna Taylor. I don't know how many times I've gone over this. Again, she's not innocent, alright? She was not an EMT at the time of the shooting, alright? Her ex-boyfriend was dealing in drugs. Her new boyfriend was dealing in drugs. She had pictures on Facebook with her, guns laying across her chest, ARs, pistols laying across her chest. She's not innocent, alright? So anybody who thinks she does, obviously does not do their research. Deon K. He was running from police in Washington, D.C. His friend actually got captured because he ran, but he wasn't stupid enough to pull a gun out, alright? Anyways, this man was running from the cops. He had a gun in his waistband. He pulls it out. He gets shot. He gets shot one time in the chest and he dies. Now, this is the thing that gets me, right? He pulls out the gun and gets shot once in the chest and dies, alright? People are trying to say he was throwing the gun away and he shouldn't have got shot. So, last time I checked, you pull a gun out and you're running from the cops, you're probably going to get shot. Like, even if he was going to throw it away, he should know not to throw it away when you're running from the cops. Because that's, like, I just don't get that one at all, alright? And even if he did throw it away, what if a kid would have found it and shot himself, or some crazy person would have found it and just started a mass shooting like that? So, that's things to consider right there. What's some other ones? Alright, let's talk about George Floyd. Alright, that's the biggest one right there. Let's talk about him, since everybody wants to talk about him. Alright, George Floyd. Number one. All these people are giving him memorials, holograms. His family got a folded American flag. Alright, number one. Folded American flags are for fallen service members and first responders, not criminals. Alright, and some people might get mad at that. No matter how you look at it, he was still a criminal. Alright? So how do you think the pregnant woman who was held at gunpoint by this man felt about his family getting a folded American flag? I'm just curious. How do you think she feels about his family getting a folded American flag? Because I guarantee you she could care less about him or his family. She really don't care. He held her at gunpoint while she was pregnant. Again, not a good person. Alright? Anyways, please show up for counterfeit bills. Now, he obviously has a record, so you don't want to go to jail. Now, he's sitting in this small car, right? Breathing just fine. As soon as he gets out, he's like, oh, I can't breathe. No, that's because you're crashing on drugs. Alright? Number two. Now, like I said, I didn't know this until like a month or two afterwards. Now, Derek Chauvin is the officer who had his knee on George Floyd's neck. Now, I didn't know this, like I said, until about a month or two after, but apparently the knee on the neck maneuver is actually taught in the Minneapolis Police Academy Department. Alright? Again, do I think George Floyd was killed by a knee on the neck? No. Was he crashing on drugs? Yeah, he was crashing on drugs. Alright? Now, I'm not saying the knee on the neck couldn't have anything to do with it. I'm just saying that medical examiner proved that he was on multiple drugs and he probably OD'd at the time. Alright? What's Jacob Blake? Another great one that y'all like to talk about. Alright? He has sexual crimes against him. He didn't want to go to jail. Anyways, police show up. He got tased. Number one, he got tased. That didn't stop him. He was told multiple times to stop. He didn't listen to no commands. He says, I'm going to get a gun. He pulls out a knife. He gets shot several times in the back, and now he's paralyzed. For months, he claimed that he didn't have a knife. He didn't have nothing. Now, everybody with common sense knew he did. Including me. I was the first one to report it. Everybody hated on me for it, but now look at it. Jacob Blake has come out and said he did have a knife. Imagine that. So the man who didn't have a knife just magically has a knife now. Like I said before, it was pretty obvious that he had a knife on him. Alright? But, he's talking about, I should still get money for it. money for what, dude? Do you not realize you got shot because you pulled a knife on the cops? Anyways, I made this video kind of long, but, you know, just one other thing before I end this video. You know, like I said, burning down buildings, looting stores is not justice for anybody. It's not just for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, Deion K, Michael Brown, any of them. Alright, it's not justice for any of them. That's justice for, that's you helping yourself get better items in your house. That's all it is. And then you cry when you get arrested, talking about, oh my God, the police are racist. No. If you wouldn't be a criminal, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But with that being said, you know, it's crazy, alright? And just like in St. Louis, guy shot 2 cops. That was, I believe it was the same night that Breonna Taylor got, or the officers charging Breonna Taylor. 2 of them weren't charged, and one got 1 endangerment charges. That day, I believe it was the same night that happened, that guy shot 2 cops. 3 were actually shot that day, 1 was shot early, and 2 were shot by 1 person. But nobody wants to talk about that. But you bring up the Capitol, oh my God, white supremacy, you know, Trump supporters, number Trump, again. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. As always, thank y'all for watching, and as always, y'all stay safe out there.